I've seen a lot of discourse going around from the community about Helldivers 2. Complaints about the recent nerfs and buffs, complaints that Helldive mode is too hard, complaints about how other teammates are doing things the wrong way. In general, it seems like there are a lot of players that are taking this game too seriously, and it makes me wonder, is anyone actually having any fun with this game? Because Helldivers 2 is supposed to be fun, right? Dr. Pooplove here, and let's get right into it. Now, to start, what I have been noticing is this kind of a culture forming for Helldivers 2, where players are taking this game way too seriously. When I check the community discourse out, it's about people kicking people for not playing the meta, or complaining that Helldive mode is too hard, or people that are taking every possible opportunity that they have to let other people know that they're playing the game wrong, and only they know how to properly play this game. Now, I don't know if this is because there are a lot of Destiny players here who have this mentality of min-maxing everything and only going in with the consensus strategies, but that seriousness was a huge turnoff for me in playing that game. And I don't think this is the vibe the devs are trying to go for, like at all. In all the marketing for this game, there has been an emphasis on lighthearted, satirical humor, where death is supposed to be a funny aspect to this game, and accidentally killing your teammates is to be somewhat expected. Even as you play the game, you are constantly reminded that you are an expendable member of the Helldivers. And even when you complete a mission but you don't extract, it's still considered a success because, and I might get sent to the re-education camps for this, but because all Super Earth cares about is you getting the missions completed, not about your life. But even so, this is a PvE game, and it's not even PvP. This does not need to be this serious. But with the latest patch, it seems that many are digging their heels in on this mentality. The devs decided to nerf the meta of the railgun, the shield, and the breaker shotgun, and they even laid out that their goal is to try to create other viable options and variety in combat. And a lot of the reaction from the community, especially the Helldivers subreddit, was a complete and total meltdown. Now, I don't necessarily think this was a perfect patch. Like, I do agree with some of the sentiment that there seems to not be a lot of viable things that can take out the heavy armor, but the devs themselves admit that changes will be needed in perpetuity. And I do agree with their overall philosophy here of wanting for variety in loadouts to be viable on the battlefield. Even if things aren't perfect now, over time, they will continue to make adjustments, and we as players just need to be patient. I mean, the former meta is still a viable strategy, by the way. So there does seem to be a little bit of an overreaction to this. But the thing is, I don't want to run missions with everyone having the same loadout on every single match. In fact, I don't want to play missions where I feel I can't experiment a little bit with other strategies that maybe ultimately don't pan out. Even on Helldive mode, which is supposed to be brutally hard, by the way, we should be trying out various loadouts to determine the best strategies. And it seems like that's kind of what the devs are trying to push us for with this patch. I think they do know that there probably are other viable ways to get through some of these missions, and they just want the community to kind of come to that realization by themselves through trial and error and experimentation. I was testing the flamethrower out on Helldive the other day before they buffed it, and I was finding that even then it had some great viability versus the bugs. The arc thrower was also recently found to be one of the top support weapons, even though it was initially laughed off. I imagine there will be more discoveries made about other weapons in this game as time goes on. I mean, the game is still pretty young. There should not be any immediate expectation that the hardest mode needs to be achievable every single time, or that we should already know every strategy to be completely successful. I actually do, though, have decent success on Helldive mode with complete randoms most of the time. But when we do fail, it's still fun and hilarious as the hordes of enemies get to be too much. And even in these matches where they do drop like 100 Biled Titans on you, I'm surprised that more people aren't just laughing about how crazy it is. I mean, the thing I love so much about this game is the sense of overwhelming odds that you need to try to overcome. And when when you are successful, it's one of the most satisfying feelings in gaming. Sure, they might need to make some tweaks, and they even have said that they will be, but I don't understand why so many people are taking this so seriously and getting so angry about it. And the thing is, if people are getting a little bit more frustrated with the harder modes, they can always just take it to a little bit of an easier difficulty and just have fun dominating. It's okay, the battle passes are always going to be there to grind for, so we don't need to feel rushed to unlock everything right away, and we can just focus on having fun. I do hope that as a community, we can kind of course correct the direction that this seems to be going in and try to be a little bit more lighthearted, try not to take things so seriously, and have fun strategizing the best ways to overcome the odds. Now, perhaps these examples of complaints are just a small pool of loud voices. I mean, even in my random lobbies, it does seem like most people are having fun and being pretty chill. But this serious and negative discourse is kind of drowning out all the other fun discourse that we could be having. I would much rather be strategizing about the best ways to win out against the overwhelming odds, because that's what I think this game is about. But what do you think? Am I off base here? Let me know in the comments. And thank you to my YouTube members for joining the Bowel Movement. But otherwise, so long, Pooper Troopers.